What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button. It helps out the video more. Hit that subscribe, ring the bell. I do a lot of Giants content on this channel as well as live stream and stuff, so hopefully you guys will like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Now, yesterday I came out with the video. I always seem to be a day late and a dollar short on these videos. Of course, with the holidays, I'm a little bit behind the times. But obviously, there was a report that came out that said John Mara is going to keep, Joe Judge and Daniel Jones. And pretty much with that meant that he would keep Kevin Abrams. They would hire within house. And obviously, no GM wants to take over, an absolute mess and be forced to, their hand. They don't want their hand forced. They don't want to be handcuffed when they come in here and not have the ability to try to at least make the moves. But then it comes out yesterday that Peter King, Giants insider, longtime Giants insider, mind you, came out and pretty much said that, let me read what he says here, okay? It says, King answering an email from a disgusted Giants fan. I promise it was not me, although I would love to email Peter King and the Giants organization, everybody else that makes this organization pathetic over the last 5 years. He says, I know John Mara, and I think he understands the depths of the issue. I don't think he will fire Judge, but obviously Mara will replace GM Dave Gettleman. And I will be very surprised if Mara doesn't go outside the organization to do so. Interesting. But then, he goes on to say a bunch of other things. He says they need a man who will value mid-round picks. Aside from getting a quarterback, that's how you win today. I wouldn't give Jones a deal after 2023. I agree with that. He says if the neck injury isn't serious, he should be the quarterback in 2022. I also agree with that as well because I just don't like the quarterbacks in this draft. That's just my opinion. But then, he says pair the coach with the GM who's a good partner. Don't stop until you get the right quarterback. So he kind of contradicts himself a little bit because if you're trying to find a GM that partners good with the head coach, you're going to bring in a GM that's never worked with Joe Judge. So how do you know it's a good partnership? I did the video yesterday and there was a guy that commented on it and said, I would kind of hold off or maybe not get too out of sorts with the things that they say in the offseason. And he was right because, if there's one thing, and again, this is what I'm saying. It's not that the reporter's job, these insiders, the Jordan Renans, the Peter Kings, the Adam Schefters, and all this stuff. It's not like they're not doing their job. Their information obviously comes from within inside the Giants organization. I don't have any sources within the Giants organization. God, I wish I did, but I certainly don't. So what I do anyway, I can't speak for other content creators, but obviously I read these reports from Schefter and Ian Rappaport and Peter King and Jordan Renan and all that stuff, and I just give you my opinion on what they're saying. I give you, because I trust within these guys. But if one thing that I do know, and I should have realized, especially since the Dave Gettleman days, or since Dave Gettleman took over in 2018, is not to believe a damn word that these guys tell you. The New York Giants are liars. And we know this. Dave Gettleman, the biggest liar of all. Well, we're going to address the offensive line. We're going to fix the O-line. Yeah, that never happened. Liar. We didn't sign Odell Beckham to trade him. Yeah, a few months later, signed him, traded him. Yeah, liar. Yep, that happened. Joe Judge, we're going to give you a team you're proud of. Liar. Going to punch in those for 60 minutes. Liar. We all know that they lie. My hope, and again, I can't speak for other Giants content creators, is that the initial reports are lies. That's what I gotta hope. All right. Now, it's very strange here on YouTube. Obviously, I have quite the dynamic here, as does my partner in crime, Chris the Entertainer, right? Everybody, well, most people anyway, think Chris is just the ultimate optimist. Like everything Chris says is just optimist. He never looks at the bad side. He never gives a critical take and blah, 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 which isn't true. Chris has certainly been critical of the New York Giants. He's definitely not as critical as me. I don't know if anybody's as critical as I am, but he's definitely called him out where it needs to be, but he's definitely more optimistic than me. But he has this aura of like he never criticizes his team. And me, I'm the complete opposite. Like people think I'm just always negative. Always. I never look at the optimist side. I'm never positive. Even though I picked him to win 10 games this year, I'm always negative. But I'll say this. Wrap your heads around this for a second, you people that just say you're always negative. Since the beginning of 2017, 77 games. At no point has this team been above 500. In 77 games, this team has not, 77 straight games, this team has been 500 or below. And they're terrible again this year. They are the worst team in football with the Jets over the last 77 games. They're 22-55. They have lost 71.4% of their games in the last 5 years. And if you can sit there and find some kind of positivity to take out of this year, God bless you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me real quick, okay? I'm not one of these guys that competes for participation trophies. If you're happy with the direction the Giants are going and you're satisfied with them being 4-11, I'm happy for you. That's not how I roll, all right? I never competed to get a participation trophy. I compete to win. I'm not going to enter something. I'm not going to enter a competition to lose or just to go, oh, I showed up. That's like these people at the gym. New Year's resolution. I'm going to show up at the gym. I'm going to walk 2 miles an hour on the treadmill. I'm going to talk on my phone for half an hour. Then I'm going to go eat a Big Mac. And I'm going to be satisfied because I went to the gym. See, that's not me. I don't go in there to participate. I go in there to bust my ass. But that's my attitude. So I'm not telling other people how to act with the Giants, but that's just me. I expect a lot out of I expect a lot of myself in everything that I do, and I expect the same thing out of my team. So yeah, I'm a little bit harsher than a lot of people, but that's just my attitude. It is what it is, right? But this team has given me nothing to be positive over the last 5 years. But if I'm going to try to be optimistic here, I am hopeful that the reports of, Judge and Jones, and again, not even so much Daniel Jones. I have no problem with Jones coming back here in 2022, but the Joe Judge thing, I'm hopeful that that's BS. I'm hopeful that that's just John Mara not rocking the boat, because I think Don LaGreca said this on his show, that why wouldn't they just come out and announce that he's safe? They haven't done that. They haven't done a press conference on that. They haven't done a press conference on promoting Abrams. They haven't done any of this. So, again, I don't root for us to lose, but God almighty, there's definitely a part of me that wants us to get embarrassed the last 2 weeks and John Mara say, okay, you're going. You're going. We are going to bring in a new GM. We are going to let him do what he wants to do. And I'm an advocate of bringing Daniel Jones back, but if we bring in a new GM and that GM says, I'm taking a quarterback, I'm fine with that too. Okay? My hope is that this was initial BS, but like I said, I don't know what to believe. As the offseason progresses, we're going to hear a lot of different things, a lot of different rumors, a lot of different GM candidates and everything else. And I guess we really won't know until things happen, because, again, this organization has been, fibbing to us, lying to us, whatever you want to say, over the last 5 years. They certainly haven't been forthright with what they've been doing, and they certainly haven't produced anything on the field. But I'm telling you right now, like I said in yesterday's video, it's a hard sell if John Mara is really saying, okay, we're going to bring Daniel Jones and Joe Judge back, and we're going to hire a GM. Because what GM outside the organization wants to take that on? Right? At least when Gettleman came in here, yeah, they told him he had to keep Eli, but I don't even know if he hired Shermer. I don't even know how this hiring process works. All I know, and I've said this a number of times, bring in an outside GM, let him hire the head coach, let him do the drafting. Mara, step the hell out of it. Let the new head coach, whoever that may be, if there is a new head coach, pick his own coaching staff. Joe Judge, as much as I can't stand him, Joe Judge should not have been force-fed Jason Garrett. That wasn't fair to Joe Judge. This is why John Mara is a complete mess. So I am hopeful that John Mara has heard the millions of Giants fans that have or hundreds of thousands anyway, that have hit those turnstiles this year at MetLife Stadium and voiced their displeasure by booing him, by booing the product, by the memes on social media. I hope that he hears the cries of the New York Giants fans saying, enough is enough, man. We've had it. Fix this organization. Hopefully he does. Hopefully this is getting through him. Listen, it got through to Jerry Jones at some point. Jerry Jones was ruining the Cowboys by meddling in this and finally let Stephen Jones take over. And I remember being on YouTube years ago when Cowboys, how mad the Cowboy fans were when they were drafting these linemen, when they were drafting Tyron Smith, and when they were drafting Fredericks, and when they were drafting Zach Martin. God, they were mad. Oh, they were so mad about drafting the offensive line, but you know what? It worked. Look at where that team is now. So, again, I know everybody thinks I'm negative. The optimist in me is saying hopefully these things are not set in stone, that he's just kind of whatever, they're talking about it, or yeah, this and that. And hopefully at the end of the year, they say, you know what, man, this is just not working, and we're going to go in a completely opposite direction. We're going to bring in a GM from the outside. We're going to let a GM have free reign to do what he wants to do. We're not going to handcuff him with Daniel Jones. Like I said, I'm fine with Daniel Jones coming back in 2022. Address the offensive line, fix that thing. Let's see if Daniel Jones can play behind the offensive line. I would not give him a fifth-year option, though. We don't know what his neck is. That's one thing, and we don't know what the hell he's going to be, even if we do get a good offensive line in front of him. Let's give him an offensive line in 2022, and let's give him a pretty decent offense, and give him a guy that actually calls some plays that, work to his skill set and his strength, and let's see what he does. And if he can become a top 10 quarterback in 2022 and get this offense off in the right direction, then maybe you consider him giving him a long-term deal, but don't pick up that fifth-year option. I certainly wouldn't do that for $21 million. But I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing him back in 2022. But again, if you're going to bring in an outside GM and he says, I want nothing to do with Daniel Jones, we're going to relegate him to the bench, or we're going to look to trade him, and we're going to draft a Kenny Pickett. Again, I really don't want to reach for a quarterback in the top 10. I really don't. But if a new GM wants to go that direction, man, I'm going to have to ride with it. It's just going to have to be what it is. And hopefully that's the case. But again, these things are very interesting. And again, they're all rumors, and we really don't know what's going to go on. What I do know is last offseason was very quiet, which is usually a good thing for a football fan. Obviously, it didn't work out this year for us, but it's not going to be a quiet offseason this year. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of changes within the New York Giants organization. Hopefully that includes, a GM from the outside of the organization and a younger GM that has 21st century football philosophy, tactics, and hopefully it brings in a new head coach and a new coaching staff, and we can just start rebuilding. And hopefully this time when we do it, we rebuild the right way, and that's by building in the trenches, because you got to win at the line of scrimmage to win the game. We really need offensive line help here. You guys know me, I'm a defensive guy, but we really need an offensive line. And we need an edge rusher. We really need to work from the inside out this time, not the other way around. Anyway, that's all I got in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll be live for the Lakers and Rockets. You want to tune in for that later tonight. It's a Bad Diggity Dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'm out. Peace.